What is your number one piece of advice for new ADN nursing students? What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Daily Sean. For those of you who haven't been here before, my name is Sean. I do a daily video on something related to nursing. No rhyme or reason. Probably not going to change. What is your number one piece of advice for new ADN nursing students? Now, so we're going under the assumption that you're asking me for specific advice for an ADN student. For those of you who don't know what an ADN student, which is just an associate's degree nurse or an associate's diploma, I don't even know if that's a word, diploma nurse. So instead of a nursing student enrolling in a bachelor's degree program, a 4-year program where they receive their bachelor's of science in nursing. Yeah, they enroll in a 2-year-ish program where they can receive their associate's degree and or a diploma. I was one of them. Yes, old school nurse here. I started my nursing career with just a diploma. No degree. No nothing, just a diploma from a hospital-based program. Yeah, I am proof that it can be done. Got my I got my diploma, then worked as a nurse for about 5 years before I went back to school and got my bachelor's in nursing, and then kept on going and got my master's in nursing, and here I am 5 years into being an acute care nurse practitioner. I am living freaking proof that it can be done. I ain't saying that it was easy though. No, not easy. So if I had to give my number one piece of advice for the specific associate's degree program student nurse, this is a tough one because I have like 6 pieces of advice for all nursing students. I really can't think of anything specifically for just the associate's degree / diploma program. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm going to cop out and we're going to go with just the number one piece of advice for any nursing student, and this is a pretty easy one to remember. You are going to volunteer. Say it with me, volunteer. You are going to volunteer for everything that shows up in your program. When they ask for volunteers to give their first subcutaneous injection, or to be the person who goes up to the front of the class and works out a math problem, or raises their hand, what's the answer to this question? You're going to be the first to do everything. Everything. I don't care if you don't know it or not. That's not my suggestion here. You are going to volunteer for everything. I want you to volunteer for everything so that you create that stress level in your mind, so that you get used to it starting day one. Because the fear of the unknown, the fear of confronting the uncomfortable is going to become a very repetitive behavior in your nursing career. You are going to do it a lot. In fact, 15 years later, I'm still doing it. I'm still approaching and encountering things that make me very uncomfortable and are outside of my comfort zone. But I have practiced that level of stress that I can handle it much more efficiently and appropriately than allowing that stress to suffocate and paralyze me. So on day 1, I want you to volunteer. On day 365, on year 2, I want you to volunteer for everything. And I want you to volunteer often and repetitively. You're going to volunteer to be the first one to place an NG. And then after you've placed 10 NGs, you're going to be the person who volunteers again. You're going to be the first person to volunteer to go ahead and make an attempt at putting in that Foley catheter in that stupid mannequin. And then you're going to volunteer to put in your 10th Foley catheter in a human being. You're going to be the first person to volunteer to do a Foley catheter on a female patient. Yes. You're also going to be the first person to volunteer when they say, who would like to try placing an IV? Me, here, the dude right here, yep. Me, yes, you. Volunteering also means you sit in the front of class, every single time, every single semester. Throughout your nursing career, you better sit in the front of the freaking class. Earn your freaking degree. Do not take a passive ride in your education. You're paying a boatload of money for this. You sit in the front of class and you are going to volunteer for everything. I don't care how freaking scared you are. Guess what? Being scared is normal. That means you give a crap. Good. Oh, and finally, volunteering actually gives you a pass to screw up. Volunteering to be the first person to throw yourself on the sword, it gives you the luxury of screwing up and not being judged. Think about it. Because you don't have an excuse. You didn't get to see how it's supposed to be done. You didn't get to see how they want it done. You are basically going into it blind after you've read the books and watched the class and they've given the tutorial, and you're going to go ahead and you're going to take that tube, you're going to take that IV, you're going to pass that med, you're going to grab that needle, and you're going to be the first one to screw up. Because guess what? They expect you to. You're going to be the first person to screw up because you are going to volunteer for everything. Another great question from the tribe, another Hey Sean question posed by a couple of the tribe members, current ADN students, wanting to know a little bit more, looking for the edge. For all of my ADN students out there, in fact, for any nursing student out there, this is for you. If you had to give a piece of advice to the ADN student, what would it be? What would be the number one piece of advice you'd want to give these students? Leave your comment down below, and while you're at it, maybe even hit the thumbs up button and show some love, and hit the subscribe. And as always, check your own pulse first.